Live from the campus of Penn State University, this is PSN News. It's Monday, September 30th. We have updates on the passing of new anti-hazing legislation, as well as more on the search for a hit-and-run driver in State College.
We also have information on the upcoming vice presidential debate, along with entertainment, sports, and an interview. Stay tuned.
Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Caitlin Pfeifer.
And I'm Cailey Thalman.
The U.S. House passed the Stop Campus Hazing Act on Wednesday with strong bipartisan support. Jim and Evelyn Piazza, whose son Timothy died in a hazing incident at Penn State in 2017, played a key role in shaping the legislation. U.S. Representative Glenn Thompson led the effort, requiring colleges to report hazing incidents and implement prevention programs. The bill now heads to the Senate. Jim Piazza expressed gratitude on what would have been Tim's 27th birthday, calling the bill a critical step toward bringing transparency and accountability to college campuses.
Alumni-elected Penn State trustee Barry Fenchak, who is suing the university over access to financial information, has asked a Center County judge to stop the board from holding a vote on his removal until the litigation is resolved. Fenchak filed an emergency motion for a preliminary injunction last Monday. He claims the board used a self-deprecating joke he made as justification to remove him from his position in retaliation for his lawsuit. Fenchak sued the board in July after multiple requests for information about Penn State's $4.6 billion endowment fund. And they were denied by Penn State University leaders and trustees. Penn State argued that the information is not reasonably related to his role as a trustee in preliminary objections.
Police are still searching for the driver involved in a hit-and-run that injured a pedestrian in downtown State College. The crash occurred around 2 p.m. on Thursday, September 19th, when a vehicle struck a pedestrian at the intersection of East Beaver Avenue and Locust Lane. The alleged driver, described as a white college-aged female with blonde hair, fled the scene. Police are asking anyone with information to contact the State College Police Department or submit an anonymous tip online.
A group of voting rights advocates are trying to get the Pennsylvania Supreme Court to decide whether voters need to date their mail ballot return envelopes in order for their vote to be counted. This is likely the last chance to settle the question before the November election. The organizations suing on behalf of a coalition of voting rights groups are arguing that the dating requirement violates the state constitution because the court did not previously rule on the merits of the case. It is unclear if the court will use its discretionary power to take up the case. If the court does take up the case, the decision will impact a large number of voters because thousands of ballots are rejected each year for lacking a proper date. After the break, Annika will bring us the latest in sports. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to PSN News. I'm Annika Wagner with your sports update. This past Saturday, the Penn State football team defeated Illinois at homecoming weekend during homecoming weekend 21-7. Coach James Franklin called for whiteout energy, and the crowd did not disappoint, with an attendance just shy of 110,000 fans. The game had many implications for the Nittany Lions, as it was their first conference game and their first real test of the season. Penn State's offense was run heavy in their victory, with Kaytron Allen and Nicholas Singleton rushing for a combined 196 yards. The Nittany Lions defense fended off the Illini, only allowing them a touchdown in the first quarter. Looking forward, Penn State will host UCLA at home this weekend. Homecoming weekend capped off this Sunday as Penn State women's volleyball fended off Michigan State in a 3-1 victory over the Spartans. After falling in their first set 23-25, Penn State went on to win the next 3 sets to take the match. Jess Mersick recorded 29 kills for the Nittany Lions, marking her 4th straight match with double-digit kills. Maggie Mendelson led the team in hitting percentage with a clip of .480. Penn State now moves to 12-1 on the season and remains undefeated in conference play at 2-0. Their next test will come Thursday at home against Maryland. Major League Baseball enters the postseason this week with the wild card round starting this Tuesday. The bracket is fully set for the wild card round with the conclusion of the Mets-Braves doubleheader in the American League. The Yankees and the Guardians get the bye and move straight to the divisional round. The Orioles will take on the Royals in Baltimore, while the Astros will battle the Tigers in Houston. As for the National League, the Phillies and the Dodgers get the bye and await the divisional round. The Brewers will play the Mets in Milwaukee, and the Padres will host the Braves in San Diego. The action kicks off in Houston at Tuesday at 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's all for your sports update. After the break, Landon Clarkin has the latest in the world of entertainment. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to PSN News. I'm Landon Clarkin with your entertainment update. This past Friday, Penn State celebrated its 2024 homecoming parade with a spectacular display of school spirit and community engagement. The parade featured a vibrant array of floats, local organizations, and student groups all celebrating the university's rich traditions. Crowds cheering on participants lined the streets from East Halls through campus, down College Avenue, and up to the Nittany Lion Shrine. Among the highlights were performances by the marching band and a dance routine by the cheerleading squad. This special celebration can be traced back to 1912, when a gathering was suggested by the College of Engineering in honor of a newly constructed building. Penn State alumni Ross Lehman once said that tradition gives a university its heart and substance, and this year's homecoming parade truly embodied that sentiment. Capitalizing on the strength of community spirit, Abbott and the Big Ten have partnered to launch the We Give Blood Drive, a competition among conference's 18 schools to promote blood donation. Announced on Thursday, the drive aims to encourage students, faculty, and fans to donate blood in support of hospitals and communities nationwide. Running until December 6, each donation counts as 1 point towards a school's leaderboard total, with the winning school receiving $1 million to advance student and community health. Individual donors will also earn a 1-month free subscription to Big Ten Plus and be entered into a lottery for a trip to the Big Ten Championship on December 7th. This initiative highlights the importance of community service and life-saving efforts throughout the Big Ten. On a national scale, the entertainment world is paying tribute to legendary British actress Maggie Smith. The two-time Oscar winner, best known for her roles in films like The Prime of Miss Jean Brodie and the Harry Potter series, passed away last week. At 89 years old, Smith has left an unforgettable mark on the film and theater industries, with a career spanning over 7 decades. Her impact on stage and screen is undeniable, and fellow actors such as Helen Mirren and Hugh Bonneville have praised her as a true master of her craft and a force of nature. Smith's legacy is one of excellence, humor, and will forever continue to capture audiences with her timeless performances. That's all for your entertainment update. Coming up next, interview anchor Casey Vucelis will be speaking with Kendall Skalicky, the president of Awesome. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to PSN News. I'm Cassie Vucelis, and joining me is Kendall Skalicky, the president of Penn State's chapter of the Association for Women in Sports Media. Thank you so much for coming in today, Kendall.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be the one getting interviewed for once.
Yes, and so we're kind of going to jump in with a question that's for unfamiliar viewers. So what is Awesome, and what all does that entail?
So we say Awesome because it's AWSM. We're the Association for Women in Sports Media, but we're a lot of things. We're a support group, we're a community, we're a networking group. Basically, any woman that wants to work in sports can join, and that's in any capacity, whether that's broadcast, PR, photography, writing, anything. You're welcome to join Awesome. But our main thing is creating a community and, as I said, a support group. So obviously, Women in Sports is, I say a smaller group, but I've seen this club grow so much over the last 4 years. We have almost 400 girls on our email list now, which is wild. But basically, we're here for anyone that wants to work in sports. We're a mentorship group. So we help lead the freshmen through all the opportunities at Penn State. And then we'll also have speakers of professionals who are already in the industry. They'll come talk to us, give the girls tips. And yeah, that's who we are in a nutshell.
And you talked about it, it seems like you've been a part of it for a while. So how long have you been a part of it? And then what other roles did you have besides president, which you are now?
Yeah, so I'm a senior now, but I joined my freshman year. I went to the comm involvement fair, and I remember leaving, calling my mom, and I was like, oh my God, there's a whole club for girls that want to work in sports, and I was so excited to be a part of it. And then my sophomore year, I was the treasurer, and then last year I was the secretary, and then this year I'm the president.
And you mentioned that there's like a lot of different events and speakers and all that. So with that being said, what does your role look like now with being president?
That's a loaded question, but basically I oversee everything and everybody. I'm the point of contact for Awesome. I'm the one sending out the emails, setting up the meetings, running the meetings. Basically anything that anyone needs, they come to me, and I just oversee everybody else. But I've really enjoyed it so far. It's definitely different than the roles I've had in the past because I'm not used to being responsible for everybody, and it's definitely super time consuming, but it's so rewarding that I'm so glad that I did it.
Yeah, and throughout all of the meetings or the bonding events, speakers, what is one of your favorite memories from being a part of Awesome in your last 4 years?
Oh, that's really tough. I've made such good friendships, like Kelly Warner, Catherine Tague, Destiny Sanchez. Like, these are all girls that I looked up to and I talk to all the time. Catherine and Destiny I talk to on a weekly basis. So honestly, like, those friendships mean the world to me. I know that I'm going to have them for the rest of my life. But also just seeing this club grow, like our first meeting this year, I was in disbelief. Like, I was so nervous to speak because the room was so packed. We had girls sitting on the floor, waiting outside the doors. But also when I see girls at sporting events and they say hi, and I realize that like we're actually building this community and girls feel supported and comfortable going up to one another. It's just so cool to see that. So I don't know if that answers your question, but there's a lot of memories that I love.
Yeah, and then there are like a lot of very influential people in the club. There's also a lot of speakers who are from all different parts of the sports world. So what is something that you have learned from either someone there, like a member of the club, or a speaker that has kind of stuck with you?
That's a really good question. I would say that it's so much more rewarding to support one another than look at people as your competitors, because at the end of the day, we're all individuals. We all have different things about us that make us who we are, and it's so draining to try to compete with people around you. And that's why I love Awesome, is because it makes the atmosphere so much more enjoyable, and you form these friendships and these bonds, and you feel better because you're supporting people, they're supporting you. So I would probably say that, just to focus on yourself and put your head down and work, and that's what'll pay off.
Yeah, and then you also had a really cool internship over this past summer, which I assume you've learned a lot there that you can bring back to Awesome and tell people about. So can you tell us a little bit about that internship and what all you did for that?
Yeah, of course. So I was a media intern for the Philadelphia Flyers, which was like a dream come true for me. I grew up going to games with my dad. I had like 3 birthday parties there, I think. So getting to work with them was just like a full circle moment. My favorite part about that was at development camp, which is where all their prospects come out. I got to do 2 to 3 interviews a day. And at first my boss was just like, oh, try this out. Like, we'll see what you can do. Like, I thought it was just going to be for my reel or whatever, and they ended up loving what I did, and they put, I think, 6 or 7 of my interviews like on their Twitter, and that was just so exciting for me. I think all of my parents' friends have seen them. That was like a very exciting day in my house. My dad was very happy, but it was just so cool. It was definitely the highlight of my college experience so far, but going back to Awesome, like, I wouldn't have gotten that opportunity if it wasn't for Awesome, the people I've met, the things I've learned. So I give a lot of credit to Awesome.
And then Awesome is not only something that's here at Penn State, it's something that's also very like nationwide. And so what are some like those benefits of also doing like the national dues and getting to be a part of something that's not just at Penn State?
Yeah, so there's Awesome chapters at a lot of different schools, obviously mostly big sports schools, but it is a national chapter. So I actually had the opportunity to go to the convention last year. Yeah, last year. And that was so neat to meet girls from other schools, and now like we're still friends with them, and like I talk to them. So you get a lot out of it. You're able to put it on your resume that you're a national member. You get to go to speaker events that not everyone has access to, and overall they'll send you opportunities, and yeah, it's an awesome org to be a part of, and I'm very grateful for it.
All right, Kendall, well, thank you so much for coming in here and talking about your experience with Awesome. It sounds truly awesome, and I know it is, so thank you.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yes. And
New York City Mayor Eric Adams pleaded not guilty Friday to federal bribery charges, denying allegations that he accepted travel perks and campaign cash from foreign interests. Adams entered the plea in a packed courtroom near City Hall. Prosecutors accused him of taking $100,000 in luxury travel and illegal donations tied to Turkey, allegedly used to boost his campaign. Adams faces 5 counts, including wire fraud and bribery. His lawyer, Alex Spiro, called the charges baseless, while Adams vowed to remain in office as investigations continue.
A federal judge ordered a mental health evaluation on Friday for Nathaniel McGuire, a man who was arrested after an explosive went off in a courthouse lobby. The explosive injured 5 people, but all have been treated and released. Officials say the man had told law enforcement he had planned to kill deputies and a judge in the building. McGuire has been charged with maliciously damaging a building with an explosive. Authorities say they later found ammunition, a rifle, a suspected bomb, fireworks, and 10 Molotov cocktails inside his car. The courthouse was closed and is set to reopen today.
Hurricane Helen left a trail of destruction across Florida and the southeastern U.S. on Friday, killing at least 44 people. Rescue crews raced to save residents from floodwaters as the Category 4 storm snapped trees, demolished homes, and knocked out power. Among the victims were 3 firefighters, a woman and her 1-month-old twins, and an 89-year-old woman hit by a falling tree. Governors reported widespread damage, with Georgia and the Carolinas hit hard by flooding and power outages. President Biden promised support as FEMA deployed over 1,500 workers from rescue operations.
Minnesota Governor Tim Walz and Senator J.D. Vance will meet on Tuesday for their first and only scheduled vice presidential debate. The 90-minute debate will start at 9 p.m. Eastern Time on October 1st. CBS Evening News anchor Nora O'Donnell and Margaret Brennan of CBS Face the Nation will moderate the debate. The candidates themselves will be responsible for fact-checking each other in real time, and microphones will remain on while their opponent is speaking. Vance won a virtual coin toss and will speak last. The debate will air on CBS News and will take place in New York City. That concludes our show tonight at PSN News.
Be sure to check us out on Twitter and Facebook at PSN News, on Instagram at Penn State Network News, and to subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/PSN News.
Have a good night and stay safe, Penn State.